Hey there, and welcome to Nine Podcast. I am Tom.
I'm Victor, and today we'll be talking about pride and self acknowledgement. Also, meaning give yourself your flowers.
And it's a topic that we've had so many arguments, so much argument about, and we decided to bring it to the table today so that we'll be able to, let me say, trash out
Some things and bring some things to light because it has so many similarities as much as it has so many differences. Like now, self acknowledgement is giving yourself your flowers, knowing your worth, knowing what your value is without public validation from any other person, without public acceptance from people. Why pride? You need people to actually accept. You want people to know your value. Forcing your values on people is almost opposite of self-validation and self-acknowledgement.
Self-acknowledgement is always honest, and there's always humility in it.
For real.
You know that yes, these are the things I've been able to accomplish, and this is what I've gone through to be able to accomplish them. And then at the same time, you are still able to acknowledge your mistakes, and you give yourself all these flowers. That's the most important part. It's internal. It's a balance between your success and your mistakes. That is what we call it, self-acknowledgement. You don't just you can't just allow people an external force to determine if you feel proud of yourself or not. Yes, pride comes from, now we're talking about pride. Pride is about it's just like an emotional feeling that is attached to someone's success. Yes, that will make you start exerting your dominance on them because they've not been able to achieve what you've achieved so far. That is where pride comes in.
One of the most important reason you should give yourself a flower and validate yourself is you have this confidence when you walk to places, when you speak to people.
Yes,
Yes.
you know that, yes.
We watch movies or come across a story where somebody goes for a job opportunity and they offer a person specific amount of salary and the person declines, no, I'm not doing this work for so amount. Not because she does not or he does not need the money. Because he knows the value of what's given to the company or given to the customer. He's not making himself less, not compromising for any reason because the person knows his or her values. That is very okay. As long as you don't get to overdo it, because overdoing something makes it bad. Too much of good equals bad.
When you give yourself self-acknowledgement, it gives you a room for growth.
Yes,
a room for
very important.
Growth. Like self-acknowledgement is honest and it's always very, very obedient because you tend to sit down and assess yourself, assess the mistakes you've made, and assess what you've done. Success you've also had. That is your wins and your losses. You count them and then you learn from your mistakes. That is where self-acknowledgement is. That is where self-acknowledgement is better and it's healthy. It's a healthy routine. It's a very, very healthy. It's a very, very healthy type of attitude to keep for yourself and your career.
It brightens up your mood whenever you get to think of what you accomplished in a very short time or in a very long time. Imagine being moody, having a stress day from work or business, and then you get to think, oh, I've done this, I've moved from this level to this level, and then
you
feel this sense.
You check your account balance, you've seen like 2 million naira. You know that.
That's my. When you move from this level to this level, you feel this sense of accomplishment within yourself without people pointing to you. You did this, you accomplished this. It's always satisfying. No. Yes. And I wish and I will urge you to actually give yourself your flowers because you deserve it. Especially for this country every day.
This Nigeria.
All of all this.
We're seeing a lot of sugar.
All of all this. See one of the every day.
No matter how it is, my brother, you are trying your best.
Nobody's more in this country. As long as numbers 18
or more. They say since I entered primary school, I never rest.
You can't say you finish primary, say she don't rest too.
Biggest lie.
So
it's like
it's very, very important for us to try sharing pride and focus on self-acknowledgement. Pride leads us to it ruins relationship, friendship, relationship, and business-wise. You lose customer because of pride because you cannot bring yourself down to something not because you know your worth, because you have that pride. Pride also gives this feeling of false acknowledgement, false accomplishment. You're not up to something and then you feel you're up to that because you have pride.
And then you start to hear about comparison. You begin to compare yourself with your neighbor, and you begin to find a spot where you are greater than them at each point. Then at the point where you will not be able to like get that satisfaction again, you tend to become emotional about it and you become so exaggerated. Like you start to exaggerate your own success.
One of the main reasons and main roots of pride starts from envy. When you begin to envy somebody's progress, somebody's status and level, you begin to do things you're not supposed to do to get to that level. You begin to say things, begin to show yourself, show off, for people to give you that acknowledgement, for people to see you at that level. And you can also move from self-acknowledgement to pride unknowingly and knowingly. Right?
If you allow it to get into it's a very, very thin line. Just a very, very thin line. The difference between them is a very, very thin line. That is why we as young youths we tend to get carried away because we find it difficult to differentiate between self-acknowledgement and pride. And then when you've been acknowledged or when you've been given praises for certain achievement or something, you need to allow it
To get into your head. And you begin to act on it or react on it, which might lead to other negative side of self-acknowledgement.
Then at some point you begin to feel bad when you see some people achieving more than what you have achieved or achieving better than you. You begin to feel upset. That is where envy comes in. You begin to feel emotional about it because you are not able to achieve what they've achieved at that time. But you forget the fact that there was also a time that you did your best and you tend to forget about that part. You tend to forget about the fact that you were the one that was able to do that and you begin to look into what other people have achieved.
That is where envy plays a very big role when it comes to pride. And you have to let it go for you to actually acknowledge yourself. Because the process of you acknowledging yourself is a step-by-step process, reflecting on everything you've been through, the process of the struggles and that satisfaction. It is the last stage of it.
It should be internal,
yes,
and balanced.
If you feel good and satisfied when somebody tell you you are this, you done this, that is pride. Honestly, from my own view, it is pride, not self-acknowledgement, because somebody validates you to feel that accomplishment. That is not self-validation or self-accomplishment or self-acknowledgement.
It's good to take pride in what you do.
Yes, that is where we had an argument the other day with
Pride in what you do.
Adejo. Say this. But someone having pride in what you do, is it the same thing as
Taking pride in what you do is when you are ready. You are ready to do whatever I like to take care of any assignment you are given in your field, as long as it is given at any time. That's why you hear some people will say, if you like wake me up by 2 a.m. in the morning, I'll be able to do this. That is you taking pride in what you do and not being ashamed of it. Yes, that is what we see that you are taking pride in what you do.
So now taking pride in what you do, is it different from self-acknowledgement? Because the way they term taking pride in what you do.
Okay. Self-acknowledgement is, let's say, is a point of you giving yourself praise, an internal way of like
Yes.
balancing
And then the
yourself.
person say, I have pride in the work I do, and if you wake me up at any time, I will to do it. The person does not, from the statement, is not requiring public validation from anybody.
Yes.
So let's say that is self-acknowledgement, right?
Yes. Taking pride in what you do is when you are not ashamed of it. You are ready to do it anytime and whenever you are being called upon to either serve or bring that particular skill you have to the table. That is when you see you are taking pride in it. And it's also a part of self-acknowledgement, because if there is nobody to praise you for doing something at that point, doesn't mean you won't be able to do it on your own.
Yeah, but that's caused a little argument because of that particular statement. Having pride in what I do, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of what I do. So it caused a little misunderstanding because of the statement pride in not in pride in acknowledging yourself. You get.
Yes.
So now that you've explained it, I think understanding more better.
So, as young youths that we are, we ought to give ourselves
Our flowers.
our flowers.
Very
Don't
often.
let anybody look down on you.
Yeah, for sure.
The effect of people looking at you is when you start feeling low self-esteem. Because as young youths, we shouldn't be feeling that the country is hard, and we know what it is taking for we young boys to be striving.
And speaking about low self-esteem, that's another root of pride.
Yes.
Because I think low self-esteem drives for people to see you. When you have a low self-esteem, you want people to see and acknowledge you. Like, okay, you see yourself less. When public to your friends, yes, inferior. So you begin to say things, try to bring yourself front for people to see you, everything you do.
You need to over-exaggerate the little success you've had.
Yes.
Just because you want to attain a particular height or not to be at the same level with someone, and then from there you begin to envy them, and then you begin to do things you are not supposed to do.
Yes.
At that point, deviating from your goal and that plan you set aside for yourself. That's why they say pride bringeth without to the downfall.
Pride comes before you fall off in mind.
Yes. So we also have to be very, very careful so we don't miss the line between self-acknowledgement and pride.
Because it's a very thin, a trait.
Very thin line.
Thin as that. One of the tips on getting or knowing how to acknowledge yourself is reflecting on what you've done, being positive, being patient, and yes, you have the main reason or one of the main factors of self-acknowledgement is you accepting your flaws, knowing yes, I'm bad at this, I'm faulty at this, I don't have this, I cannot do this. It's very, very important, right?
And it's more important to do it honestly. The honest reflection, like the honest way of accepting your wins and your success and also your mistakes too. Yes, accepting your mistakes too helps it stay balanced. Because so you know that I'm not that perfect at this, but with my hard work and dedication, I'll be able to achieve this, and it also helps you to grow better and become a better version of yourself.
Yeah, self-acknowledgement is very important, but it has its own downside. Like I said, there's nothing that has advantage that does not have disadvantage. These are the few disadvantages I will list. It makes you have this overconfidence in everything you do, and sometimes you flop when you have that overconfidence.
Yes.
And then it makes you neglect your flaws and mistakes because you feel okay, I'm good at this, then that overconfidence steps in and then you flow out. Then it makes you not to listen to criticism or when someone is trying to correct your mistakes. Like, I'm perfect, I'm good, so I don't see any mistake
too
here.
much of everything is too much.
It's
So
too
much
bad.
of everything is too bad.
Yes. So there's nothing that has good and doesn't have down. So you just have to learn how to maintain it to be on the safer side.
Yes. Although pride can be motivating,
Yes.
but it also tends to let's say increase cause too much of like, how do I put this in English? Pride can be self-motivating, but when the external validation begins to get into the person's head so much, and the chances of it getting to that extent is always very, very high. That is why it's pride. Yes. So when it begins to get into your head and then you begin to feel emotional about it, and then every little thing you want to start accepting that dominance on others.
Yes,
That is where it becomes
you definitely
pride.
want people to know you, like you do anything for them to see
And
what
start
you're
being like,
pushing.
yes, I'm better than you at this, I'm better than you at this. You
Rubbing
can't
it
do
on
anything
their
for me.
faces.
That is where it becomes pride.
So you just have to be or learn how to maintain it. And it's very, very important, honestly, for us to give ourselves our flowers, because we go every day, we face challenges every single day. What you're facing might be different from what I'm facing, and sometimes it might be the same thing, but we all face our personal challenges. So when you finish a battle, you should learn how to praise yourself. Yes, this thing I went through is very difficult, and thank God, or thankful.
Awareness.
Yes, I was able to walk out of this thing. Even if you not walk out of it completely the way you wanted, at least moving from it is a step forward.
You should be happy about it. You should be celebrating it, because not everybody was given the opportunity to get to that stage.
Yes, people started this thing with you and they're unable to finish up because they could not, they don't have the ability or the opportunity at least to finish up, but you were able to do it. So that's something to praise yourself for.
Acknowledgement. Yes. And so this topic would also like to hear your own views on it.
Your opinion.
On it. Then your opinion determine if there's going to be a part 2 of this episode or not. But honestly, we'd also like to hear your opinion or your view on this particular topic. The difference between self-acknowledgement and pride. Yes.
And if you've ever battled pride, tell us how you were able to overcome it.
Just for the younger ones.
To motivate us and other people battling the same thing, and give us some tips to help others as well, because this is where we all speak to ourselves and help ourselves.
Once again, you're welcome to my podcast. I'd also like to subscribe.
Like and follow from us, because you'll be seeing us on FYP almost every day, because we are here to stay.
There's always something for everyone here.
Thank you very much for your time.
Cheese.